Fight fans, Mike of Fights with Friends back with another car cast. Remember, starting October 1st, Fights with Friends becomes Mike's Sports Experience, or for short, MSE. What changes on the channel? Not a whole lot. All the same fights, all the UFC, all the Bellator, all the boxing, hopefully more. But we are expanding, just for those that are interested, to the NFL, to Major League Baseball, to hockey, and still taking requests for other sports. I would like to do some judo as the Olympics rolls around. Let's get into the story at hand, though. UFC 245. Not that long ago, it seemed the biggest news coming out of that was the return of Matt the Immortal Brown. Not a title shot. Going up against Killer B, Ben Saunders. And then we have Germaine de Randamie versus Amanda Nunes announced. And then a few days ago, everybody's mind is blown as Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway agree to a deal. Now, have we ever had a UFC card with three world titles on the line? I don't know if that we've even had anything with 3 titles on the line, including interim. UFC 245 now has 3 title shots as of about 25 minutes ago. The final ink is drying on this championship bout between Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington. It looked like this was not going to get done. Colby Covington accused the UFC of bully tactics, said that they were using, and I quote, slave labor negotiations. And it had seemed like there for a while that Colby and Dana, like, they were super tight. He seemed to be eating up the whole thing with Colby visiting the White House, having the Trump sons sitting cage side when he fought Robbie Lawler. Then Colby Covington, as if he hadn't went off of the rails enough, ends up in a feud with one of his best, and I would say probably his most valuable friend, Jorge Masvidal. They're at 170. Jorge Masvidal accused Colby Covington of stealing money from the coach. Some bad blood there, but of course we've been hearing this bad blood between Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington for a very long time. This trash talking, it's been cringe at times. There's been some good one-liners. Manager for Kamaru Usman, Ali Abdulaziz, has infused himself into the feud, almost going at it with Colby Covington, getting up in his face and almost causing a brawl at a casino. Of course, recently, Colby Covington confronted Dana White while he was playing blackjack with a camera, which you're not allowed, of course, to film in casinos. And Dana's like, whoa, 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 stop there. And then Colby says, okay, I realize who my daddy is, and turned around and ended that really quickly. But we're not going to hear a lot of talk, most likely, out of Max Holloway. He's not the kind of guy to, talk a lot. Alexander Volkanovski, we're probably going to get a little more talk out of him. He was very insistent on getting that title shot against Max Holloway, and that is just going to be a featherweight war. A lot of people are picking Volkanovski already for that fight. Germaine de Randamie taking on Amanda Nunes. When you have a polished, decorated kickboxer like Germaine de Randamie and a solid MMA fighter taking on maybe the baddest woman on the planet right now, you got to expect fireworks out of that one. And then Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington. There's going to be a lot of battles before the wars. I'm sure we're going to be talking about, a lot of trash talk between those two. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of hype, a lot of antics, a lot of different things. I want to know what you guys think, though. Anything about this card? Germaine de Randamie and Amanda Nunes, what fight are you guys most excited about for that one? I'm going to be real upfront with that one. As far as the fight itself, for me, it's definitely Max and Volkanovski. Those guys are going to get in there. There's not going to be a lot of talk, but they're going to get in there. They're going to do their business. I think it's going to be a war. And as far as the hype leading up to the fight, of course, Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington. Amanda Nunes, Jermaine Durandamy. It's kind of an X factor what Jermaine Durandamy we see. She has been impressive as of late, coming off a very good performance. Amanda Nunes, of course, on fire after that knockout of the, once basic we thought indestructible Chris Cyborg, who of course has now moved on to Bellator, not even with the UFC anymore. And then let me know what do you think about the Kamaru Usman Colby Covington fight? Who's going to have the advantage on that as far as grappling, as far as striking, as far as cardio, as far as workload? Who's going to have the better trash talking? What are these guys going to do to one up what's already led up to this fight? And do you believe Colby should have been the one that got the shot? Jorge Masvidal, he was rallying for that shot. Seemed like he was going to take it away from Colby because negotiations had collapsed between Colby and the UFC. And then all of a sudden, a call out from Nate Diaz. Jorge Masvidal says, I accept. They're fighting for this baddest mother in the world belt over there on UFC 244. And the welterweight belt is all but forgotten about for the moment for Jorge Masvidal, which opens the door for Colby Covington to come back in and get the title shot, whether you like him or not, that he righteously deserved. He has been holding that interim championship belt for quite a while. He was promised the championship fight against Tyron Woodley several times. He's been promised it against Kamaru Usman. He's been ready to fight now for a while. I'm glad they got the numbers ironed out. And I hope everybody gets paid. And it sounds like everybody's definitely getting paid more than they were a few years ago. The UFC is having to start to cave into some of these negotiations because I think they're realizing with the pay-per-view cards, you just got to knock it out of the park. They're having a hard time getting people to buy these ESPN pay-per-views. How about 3 titles in Las Vegas on the line beginning of December? How would you like that pay-per-view for your early Christmas present? Well, there you go. And like I said, the return of the immortal Matt Brown versus Killaby Saunders. And I'm sure a lot more to be announced before that. That December card is always a huge card. Let me know what you think down there in the comments. Don't forget, like I said, Fights with Friends changes to Mike Sports Experience, MSE, starting October 1st. Don't be left in the dark, guys. As always, I love you. I respect you. And I'll see your fine asses later.